What's up, Paintball family? It's Matt from Detroit Paintball, bringing you another snapshot review. Today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the Silencio Ti Titanium tip by Infamous Paintball, and we're going to be comparing it to its Gen 1 version as well. We're also going to be comparing it to the carbon fiber tip. We're going to give you guys some of our feedback, kind of looking at it. We won't be doing a shooting review, unfortunately, quite yet on it, as we're waiting for the weather to break here in Michigan, and we need a little bit more equipment to kind of do a shooting video, as we want to be able to give you a good review. Helps to have a decimal meter to be able to kind of tell you which one's quieter and the performance side of things. So let's jump right into it. The titanium tip is pretty doggone cool. It's definitely got some weight to it in some cases. As I've said before, I love the packaging that Infamous has done here. As the let's see if I can get the thing off a little quicker. The tubing is actually nice and firm. You have the caps, so if you don't have like a barrel wrap type thing or a barrel case for your barrels, something like this is actually really doggone cool to be able to keep the tip in there until you get that product. So if you're a newer player and you pick this up, you actually have something to still protect your FL Silencio tip. Next, we're going to pull out the Gen 1 version. Now, we recently looked at Infamous's website, and right now they are up to Generation 4. So this is a Generation 1, has the Infamous skull on it. There's no Pro DNA or anything. It's not been re-anodized. So we have the Gen 1, and then we have Planet Eclipse / Deadly Winds FL tip for another comparison. So getting right into it, kind of taking a look at the titanium version, there's definitely some differences between the titanium version and the Gen 1, or in some cases the Gen 4 tip. One of the things that stick out right off the bat, obviously the anodizing, anodized, not anodized. Kind of the cool thing about these though is doing some research, seeing a lot of people warming or heating these up, whether a blowtorch or the oven or whatever, and they got some pretty doggone cool, like colorful patterns on it, whether they did it from the back or the tip or whatever. So it's kind of cool. You can get some different effects, I guess, out of titanium, which I didn't know that. I've always had titanium backs for most of my die boomsticks, but it was kind of cool to see like what some of the people have been doing out there. You have dust black, and then you got gloss clear right here, another Gen 1 as well. So that's one of the differences. The other difference is that looking at the, let's say the description of this barrel on Infamous's website, is that it has 20 linear ports, so to speak, to help with the turbulence, quietness, to kind of help with, how do you want to say, the intrusion of rain or sprinkles from the weather that you're playing in, mud, and also any paint fill that, as it may break a ball as it comes out, it's going to have a more difficult time to get into the porting on your traditional barrel. And I think they said something like, yeah, there's 20 linear ports on it. Then it has the capillary kind of machining in it, kind of lightweight, but also to, I think it's to help with some of that, with the barrel being up against the bunker type stuff. So it kind of rubs in there like it's gonna kind of sit in there and not necessarily go back into the inside of the barrel. And I think they said with there being 20 on this, I think the average paintball barrel has like 114 porting holes for the most part, but that's the information on their website. Oops. And then getting into the titanium one, if you can tell, there is more than that on the titanium. So whether it's for sound reduction, it could be weight reduction. This actually, well, while this has 20. This has 40 linear, and it's basically, there are 5 rows of 2 all the way around the barrel. So it'd be interesting, as I said, us doing a shooting video, if this is going to be like quieter than this because of the additional linear porting slots. Next thing, kind of right off the beginning, is that the difference in the tips, if you can kind of tell, they are a little bit different diameter on the outside. The black one is thicker. It's got a very kind of square profile this way, where the titanium one has really got a rounded taper to the outside diameter of the barrel, and they're each thinner. Now, how thin? Well, we tried to micrometer the titanium one, and this came in, measuring it from the tip, not from the back, it came in at 0.80 millimeters. So there is a difference, because the aluminum one came in at something like 1.96 to 1.98 millimeters thick, also in the tip. So there is a difference. So I'm sure weight reduction and as well possibly quieter. Be interesting to see the sound signature difference between the aluminum tip and the titanium tip, if there is a sound difference between the two. Talking about weight, well, getting into the weight, the titanium one comes in at 4 ounces, and it translates into something like 114 grams, where this one comes in at 3.4 ounces, so it's almost a whole ounce lighter and translates into 96 grams or so. So you have lighter and a bit heavier. Now, how does this translate into the Planet Eclipse FL tip? Well, this comes in at 1.6 ounces. So out of all 3 tips, this is actually the lightest one. And at that 1.6 ounces, it comes in at like 44 grams, 45 grams, something like that. And as you can kind of see too, even for the Planet Eclipse one, there is a slight tapered edge on the outside. And it looks like there's a little bit of a slight taper on the inside as well, where the Infamous one, as I said, it has it on the outside, the titanium one, and it not so much on the inside, where the profile of the Gen 1 is pretty much square all the way through. So there you guys kind of have it. You guys have the weight comparisons and some of the different features between the titanium one, and we didn't use any of the FL inserts, but so there you guys have it. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about these 3 tips, leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and also make sure you hit the notification buttons. That way you don't miss any of our awesome content. From all of us here at Detroit Paintball, we appreciate your guys' continued support, and we hope to see you guys at the nearest paintball field soon.